Now some breaking news that's coming in. The government of India has decided not to extend the suspension of operations in Jammu and Kashmir announced at the beginning of Ramzan. Operations against terrorists to resume. Government commends the security forces for having shown exemplary restraint during Ramzan despite grave provocations. My colleague, Deputy Editor Kamaljit Sandhu now joins me live on this story. Kamaljit, the suspense is over. The government has decided it will not continue with the ceasefire. Has this decision been made in the wake of the brutal killings that we witnessed on Thursday that sent shockwaves across the nation?
Well, absolutely. A series of incidents, including killing of Shujaat Bukhari, senior journalist and editor of Rising Kashmir, along with Aurangazeb. Besides that, there were incidents of violence, a number of increasing grenade attacks, many of the other incidents which have actually caused alarm bells. There was also inputs coming in about at least one militant joining a day. That also meant there was escalation. There were obviously being visuals of militants being seen in different locations. There is obviously an alarm that perhaps militancy is going to rise. Situation seems to be going a bit out of control. So perhaps keeping that in mind, a decision has been taken that there will be no further extension of ceasefire. Operations will resume. This is almost on expected lines. Though during the Amarnath review meeting, when Rajnath had visited almost 2 weeks ago to Jammu and Kashmir, things seemed far better. But just before Eid, the sort of escalation of violence is something which has triggered much alarm within Home Ministry and intelligence agencies. Inputs clearly coming in that the army was unhappy. The security forces clearly saying that if the extension of ceasefire was to continue, they would be on the back foot. That was an indication enough, and obviously Pak provocation continuing. The assassination of Shujaat Bukhari, all these factors now really adding in, saying perhaps this is not the right time for resumption of talks. This is perhaps time to go, and obviously there has been Operation All Out in 2017. This time there would be a strategic change in the policy. We've been told now there would be operations, but no major announcement will be made. There will be action against the stone petters. There was amnesty, there was leniency which was given earlier, but now on there would be strict action, because now it seems that there is a pattern to it, that during anti-militancy, anti-terror operations, these people who are coming out in huge numbers act as a deterrent, and that is how there has to be a strict action, a legal action which needs to be taken, perhaps measures. Something that Jammu and Kashmir Police has also communicated to Home Ministry, and that is why, as a part of a larger strategic move, and remember with agency, the MOD, MHA, all being one on this particular decision, that there was relief provided for at least 1 month to the people of Jammu and Kashmir during the month of Ramzan. But it is the retaliation from the other end, no peace offer from the other end, which has forced the government to have a rethink on it. And now there is a declared decision coming in that there is going to be no extension and that operations will resume. Since there has been a number of militant attacks which have been on the rise, remember there will be a round 2 of violence where number of anti-terror operations will take place and new round of violence will really happen.
That's right. But Kamal, in terms of the state's politics, this will not go down too well with the PDP, because the PDP had been constantly demanding an extension of ceasefire. But the BJP now, of course, which is at the helm of affairs here in the centre, has decided that it will not continue with the ceasefire. Operations in the valley will resume.
Well, obviously, we've been seeing that opposition parties, including the National Conference, confront the Home Ministry, there have been other national parties. Now, remember, there is a certain amount of vote bank politics. There is obviously a relief which was provided to people. Having said that, there has been no response from the other end. Meanwhile, Pakistan has also escalated ceasefire violations across the international border and the LOC. Till about yesterday, we know there were martyrs coming back home in body bags. So the message was very clear that Pakistan does not want to end this particular sort of violence. They're keeping the Kashmir pot boiling in the hinterland as well as on the international border and at the LOC. So
I apologize, I have to interrupt you. Just stay on with us and hold on to that thought. Sushant Sareen, strategic affairs expert, joining us on the phone line right now. Mr. Sareen, your reaction. The government has decided that it will no longer continue with the ceasefire that it had announced at the commencement of Ramzan a month ago.
Well, I think the ground reality had made it clear that the ceasefire was becoming more and more untenable with every passing day. So extending the ceasefire would have been tantamount to reinforcing failure. It's good that the government has, decided that it's not going to reinforce failure, and it'll need to do certain things to start putting things back on the rails in Kashmir. Now the question is merely the reinitiation of operations against some of these groups is only one prong of a multi-pronged approach that the government will have to adopt. Is it up to the task of adopting those other prongs, which includes cracking down on the financial networks, which includes cleansing the administration, which includes draining the swamp of support for some of these terrorists and militants? Until and unless that is going to happen, and that has been one of the biggest failures of the government over all these years, that invariably they build up the pressure, then they dissipate the pressure because of some crazy kind of political calculations which never seem to work. This policy of appeasement of terrorists, separatists has to stop, and the full weight of the law has to be brought down to bear upon them. Unless we are ready to do all this, merely ending the ceasefire, it's a good step, but it will not be enough.
Right. Mr. Sareen, thank you so much for joining us on India Today. Also, thank you to my colleague Kamaljeet Sandhu.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.